I'm Adrian Peterson of the Minnesota Vikings, and you're watching the best sports coverage on News OK.
4th and 1, where there wasn't a nose guard. It looked like Landry could have just quarterback sneaked it. Is there an audible that you have that he could have when there was no nose guard in there?
Definitely. Yeah, he doesn't have the freedom just to call that, but we signal it.
What do you do? Do you worry about your team saying, "My gosh, what's next?" As far as all the injuries, the bad luck.
Well, again, it's you can accept that and have that kind of that attitude, that defeatist attitude, and woe is me, or you could respond, and that's what you have to do. Is you have to come out and keep responding and keep playing, and you challenge the other players that regardless of your experience, you're here. You need to play well. You practice well. Get yourself. Some other guys have more opportunities. You got to step up and embrace the challenge and play well. That we're expected to play well, and that's what you need to do. But practice and invest in the week to get yourself in a position to play well.
Bob, your defense has gotten better as the season has gone along, and they played a great performance on Saturday. From this defense as a whole, what are the main reasons why it came together?
They've done a really good group. Yeah, you don't expect to have someone beat you to have 7 first downs and you force 11 punts away from home. That's it's hard to believe. So in the end, they're doing a really good job. I think mostly because of they're really doing a great job of preparing. I watch them. They're really been a smart group of being where they need to be, recognizing formations or what people are doing, and being able to get on the same page and make adjustments to it. And then obviously there's excellent ability to tackle or the quickness to get where you need to go. But I always think that the first thing is mentally when the defense is really playing well, they're playing really smart.
And they've done that even though Brent and the defensive staff have come up with what appear to be new things or some new.
Yeah, that's what I mean. But each offense gives you different challenges, and so you have different emphasis or different structurally different ways you feel you need to defend them, and they've done a really good job of asking questions or paying attention in meetings and on the field to make sure they're where they need to be.
Coach, this is me talking out of line here. I'm not a football coach, but it seems as though you're not going straight forward on offense. You're trying to go around the side.
Sometimes.
Is that? And I was thinking maybe that the opposition realizes that you aren't trying to power it straight ahead.
Well, I mean, again, I don't know that that's always the case. We had a good number of yardage the other day where we are going straight ahead. I think both Chris and DeMarco were right at 50 yards. So, between the two of them, you got 100 yards rushing with the two of those guys. But so again, sometimes just depending on what you feel you have your opportunities for. Sometimes it's supposed to go inside, it's clogged up, and they bounce it outside. But But again, there's a fair number of plays the other night where we did well going straight ahead.
Bob, when you looked at the film, did you detect more success when you were going fast-paced, or could you tell you better when you slowed down, or in terms of how the pace?
I'd say probably overall better when we were at fast pace. When you go back and watch more of our big plays, or when we have, whether there's some play action passes or some of our, downhill inside run game, hit pretty well, usually a little quicker pace.
Bob, one of the reasons the offensive line is, you're having so many problems with depth, I guess, is because of the attrition that's happened since, going back to the classes that could have helped you, the recruiting classes since 2005. Counted up 40% of the guys that signed are not here anymore. And not talking about graduating, they left early. Why did all that happen? Why do you think?
There's a number of reasons. Some guys don't want to go to class, don't want to work out. They want to set their own schedule. And that generally, with the team of 100 guys, doesn't set real well. So eventually they're dismissed. That okay, you don't want to do it, then don't do it. Then you need to go somewhere else. And whether they choose they don't want to do it and leave, or we choose for them that all right, the way you're doing things, it's not going to work anymore.
I asked Jay this yesterday about the wide receivers. What do you look for? What qualities do you look for? What characteristics do you look for in recruiting a guy that would allow you to say 4 years, 5 years from now, he was a guy we identified those characteristics early? Intrinsically, what are you looking for? Character and
work ethic.
How do you define those though? And how do you find them
You're
when
just
they're in high
trying
school?
to visit. You try and get to know kids. You visit with people that are involved in them. A recruiting coach gets many opportunities to visit with them in person. You watch, whether it's they get to watch practice, they get to watch a guy compete in other sports sometimes, those kind of things. So you're constantly trying to evaluate guys and how competitive they are, what their will is. But it's not that easy to determine. And so in the end, that's what you're always trying to evaluate, and along with then ability. In today's world too, are they dependable to go to class? It doesn't work. The old days of show up for Saturday and do what you want to do, that during the week. Back in the old days when we played, that doesn't go anymore. So they also got to have the want to go to school and get an education, or there's some of them that are dismissed out of here for those reasons. So in the end, there's a work ethic more than anything to want to do the things necessary to play college ball.
Do you think that 40% is on the high end or medium?
Oh, it's probably on the high end. But, again, I think, everybody has different standards and of what's acceptable on their team and what isn't.
I'm sure that when you go out and you recruit kids, you ask yourself this question: is this guy going to make it through our program? What type of work ethic does he have? But is that disappointing that as much checking as you do with people to find out what they are, that you still have that issue, guys?
Sure. But, in the end, too, it's to go through and do everything a college student's asked to do here and everywhere it's a lot of time and a lot of work.
Kevin last week spoke about, I guess, offensive linemen. They're so big and they're just their physical stature. They go through the off-season workouts. They go through Schmitty's, camps, so to speak, and they don't play as a freshman. They don't play as a sophomore, and he sees guys starting to get discouraged. Do you see that as well? I don't see it like he does. I see it's that way with a lot of positions. I see it that way with D linemen. I see it that way with some linebackers. I see that in a lot of positions. So I don't know why they would be any different than any other position. You don't think those guys need to be treated any differently in off-season conditioning?
We could let them not do anything and just show up and play, and that'll work real well. No. We make modifications. They don't run the same way other guys run. They don't have to run the same time as a linebacker runs. They got more time than a D lineman does. So no, we haven't been in this position through 11 years by letting guys setting a less of a standard for our O linemen than the rest of the team, and then we'd have more guys here that can't play. So.
Would you say that is this one way to look at it? Your standards are high. Typically, that works for you because the ones that you get them, they stay in the program. You're better off for it. But I suppose there's always the possibility that you misjudged or something happens, and perhaps you're facing that now.
Exactly. Okay. That's fair to say. And in the end, I'm very confident in our standards and what we expect, and again, we start having a bunch of guys in here who set their own pace and go to school when they want and show up to practice when they want or not. All we'd have is probably 6-8 more linemen who can't play or who are going to get more penalties and not go where they're supposed to go.